get ready.
This is the voice of Wayne America.
Lighten up, Francis.
With your host,
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Mike Carnes.
How do you measure yourself with other golfers? By height.
Only at WayneAmerica.com.
The supernova's gonna kill us all.
Okay, this guy is the real zero, that's true. Let's just think back when you guys were freshmen, huh?
.com.
Greetings from Wayne America. This is the Voice of Wayne America podcast, an exclusive here at WayneAmerica.com. I'm your host, Mike Carnes, and every week here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast, we sit down with somebody who has some kind of connection to the most wonderful, amazing, awesome town in all of America, and that, of course, is right here in Wayne America. And we want to thank our sponsors for the program, including AKA 142 Media and also Mike EC Productions. Your business can be mentioned here. Just email Mike at MikeECProductions.com for more information. Well, kind of doing a special edition this week, doing it a little earlier than we normally do during the course of the week here on WayneAmerica.com, but there's a good reason for that. That's because we're going to have a bunch of bike riders coming through Wayne America here in the next couple days. The Bike Ride Across Nebraska is doing its annual trek across the state, and they're doing a little bit different route this year. Normally they go from west to east across the state of Nebraska. And this year they're starting down in the southern part of the state, down in Falls City, and you can't get more southern in Nebraska than Falls City. And they're going to eventually make their way up to this part of the state, and they will be here in Wayne on Wednesday. And with me on this week's Voice of Wayne America podcast is Irene Fletcher from the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce. She's the person basically in charge of juggling all the balls necessary to make BRAN happen here in Wayne, and has been doing a fantastic job of it. And Irene, I know this time of year is already kind of busy normally for you and for the chamber office because of Chicken Days coming up, and the county fair follows soon after that. So one more big event coming through town kind of adds a little excitement to what's going on here. But we're kind of in the final days heading up to the arrival of the bikers here on Wednesday, and I know a lot has been done to make this happen.
It has. Wayne is all about hospitality, and so we were really excited when the BRAN executives asked if we would be willing to host them, and we jumped at the chance to show off our community, and knowing that this ride is a month before the chicken show gives us a great chance to introduce the riders to the chicken show and invite them to come back in a month and participate in our 3-day chicken show festival. Really excited about the BRAN ride. You can see that excitement building around town. I've seen bicycles in store windows, decorated bicycles out and about. Some new welcome signs are starting to show up. So the community is really getting behind BRAN, and we ask that people continue to do that to welcome the riders, make sure that they know that they're welcome here, and help them out with whatever their needs are. We've had a loosely formed committee of volunteers, some city staff, staff from the Wayne schools, and a number of other volunteers that have helped put this together. And I think we're coming down the home stretch now. So the riders have already started out. They're on their way here. On Wednesday morning, they will leave North Bend and ride all the way here to Wayne. So the number one question I get asked, Mike, is when to expect the riders to come, and we really don't know. The answer is depends on the riders, depends on the weather, and the riders, some of them will start early and be intense and ride hard and get here early, and some will have a more leisurely day of it. So we expect the earliest rider probably around 10 o'clock, and they'll straggle in all day long, with the bulk of the riders probably coming in early to mid-afternoon, and that's just a best guess. The weather will play into that, and we've been watching the forecast, and it seems to change quite often. So far, I think we can handle the weather.
Yeah, I remember from when the bike ride, when the BRAN rode through Laurel a few years ago, and I remember going up there to cover that when I was at the newspaper, and I remember that a lot of the riders generally straggled in during the lunch hour and into the early afternoon. So, and they came in from Verdigris, I think, that year. So they had a pretty lengthy drive there as well. And so it kind of depends on the rider. Some are just in it to enjoy the atmosphere and the surroundings that they see when they ride, and others are kind of in it for the physical aspect, and try to get to where they want to go or where they need to go as fast as they can go. And so it'll be kind of a little bit of everything that we'll see here during the course of that morning and afternoon when they come in.
That's why we're asking everyone to be very flexible, and all the plans that we have in place still are subject to change, and so we're going to try to roll with it and smile through it all. We have things available for the riders as early as 11 on Wednesday. The MOPS group is going to set up a make your own salad bar from 11 to 2 in the area where the riders are staying, which they will be staying at the Summer Sports Complex. Mostly their tents will be put up in the rugby fields in that area. So there'll be lots of other things available for the riders at the Fourth Jug. There'll be an Italian buffet from 11 to 3. So for those early riders, we have some things planned for them. Mm-hmm. And then as they come into town, lots of the activities pick up. Lots of more food opportunities. There'll be pie and homemade ice cream by the Wayne Rotary Club. There's hot dogs by the Volunteer Fire Department. Burgers and brats by the Wayne Music Boosters. Of course, the Farmers Market, it will be official opening day of the Farmers Market, and they have some single-serving chicken and vegetarian tamales and other fresh produce and such. And then the Fourth Jug, again, will have a supper menu, and we invite the riders to take advantage of any of those or any of our other Wayne restaurants. So when they get to town, as you can imagine, they'll probably want to get off their bikes. Mm-hmm. So they'll come up Highway 15. They'll be greeted by Journey Christian Church volunteers, and the Wayne High cheerleaders are supposed to be on site as well to welcome them at Victor Park. And then from there, they can take the bike trail under the highway and head straight to the Summer Sports Complex, or they can ride their bikes up through downtown and get there that way as well. And we expect that what they'll do is get to the campsite. The BRAN semi-trailer with all their gear will have arrived. We have volunteers from the Wayne Athletic Department. Some of the Wayne High School athletes will be available to unload that trailer and help them get their gear to where they're going to set their tent up. And once they get all that established, then likely they will want to get out and about and see all the other things we have planned for them. To help us do that, we have some trolleys. We're renting some Apache trolleys. We have kind of a shuttle route, and then we also have some school vans for more designated trips around town. So we'll do everything we can to get the riders out and about into the community.
All right, yeah, a lot of stuff will be happening on Wednesday here when the Bike Ride Across Nebraska rolls through town, and we got some more stuff to talk about with that. And we're talking with Irene Fletcher here from the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast. What does the AKA and AKA 142 media stand for, you ask? Well, it stands for many things, but the most important thing is that AKA 142 media provides awesome kickin' apps that can be downloaded to your phone or your tablet. Whether it's your school, your favorite youth sports program, or your local business, AKA 142 Media can build an awesome kicking app that meets your needs. So give Kevin a shout. Drop him an email at kevin@aka142.com and tell him that Mike sent you. That's AKA 142 Media. Awesome kicking apps. Busy week coming up here in Wayne with the Bike Ride Across Nebraska. We just got done with the Wayne Dirt Devils softball tournament, and I mentioned that because I was there all weekend taking photos and doing all that stuff here. So we've already had a lot of people here in Wayne over the past couple of days, and it seems like we just get done with one group, and here comes another one with the Bike Ride Across Nebraska. And I think next weekend the weekend after next weekend is a baseball tournament, and then we get a couple week reprieve, and then the chicken show, and then the county fair. So it's a busy summer here in Wayne, and this Bike Ride Across Nebraska is something that I know that you were first contacted about it, I think about this time last summer, and then from that a group of people here in the community were asked to be part of a kind of a volunteer committee to kind of figure out how we can best make this happen and put as good a face on for the community as we can. And I know I've been a part of that effort as well, and I know that a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into getting this going, and something like this doesn't go off without that kind of volunteer support, of which you have mentioned a lot of it already with some of the groups that are helping out.
Yeah, that initial contact came to Lowell Johnson, city administrator. When the BRAN people contacted the city, that's who they started with, and then Lowell invited our office to come along on the early meetings, and we had a list of things that we were asked if we would be able to provide to the riders, and we said yes, we would be able to provide those things. And so they went back and worked on the route, and we were approved as a community to host the riders. When they leave Wayne, they will be riding all the way over to Wakefield. But interesting enough, like you said, Mike, they're doing some things different this year. Instead of going from west to east, they're going from south to north, and then they'll head back south again after they leave Wayne. But they're also breaking the ride into a 3-day and a 4-day ride, so accommodate more riders who would not be able to take a whole week vacation or did not want to dedicate a whole week to the ride. They could do a kind of a half a ride. And then the other thing, they're trying to entice more younger riders and families, and so they created some options. So when they leave Wayne for Wakefield, they have the option to hop on Highway 35 East and just ride on over to Wakefield, the quick 15-mile ride, whatever that is, however long it takes them to get there, or they can opt for a 40-mile ride. They'll go north on Highway 15 and loop around through Allen and down, or they can take an even longer ride that will take them up into South Dakota, which leads to the BRAN theme, which is 5 states and 5 nations, or they can choose to do the Century Run. And I understand that in every ride, they pick one day and offer a Century Run, which is a ride of over 100 miles. Mm-hmm. So they have many different options when they leave Wayne to get to Wakefield. And that leads us to remind people to be watchful of those riders. They won't be just on one path. They'll be on a number of different routes. So you may see them, like I said, going east of town or to Wakefield, or you may see them going north on Highway 15. So again, they leave early in the morning. They spend more time in town, leave later in the day. So just be wary all day Wednesday and all day Thursday of the bikers.
Now, that Century Ride, are they going up into? They're going up to South Dakota. Are they going up into Yankton or Vermilion?
I believe they're going up into Vermilion.
Vermilion.
I'm not positive of the exact route. I think they go up to South Dakota and then they can catch Iowa as well.
Okay, and I think that was where the 5 states, because I think they touched Missouri and Iowa, I think at some point.
Right.
On this route too. So, and
they started on their first day. They were able to dip down into Kansas.
Or Kansas. That was
yeah. So I think they've covered quite a few bases that way.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how they're doing that, because traditionally that route has followed a west-east pattern, and they just basically just stay within. They either go through southern Nebraska or the northern part of the state, or sometimes they go through the central part of the state. But they generally just stick to Nebraska, and it's kind of neat that they're kind of expanding that out into and making more of a regional ride, and giving those bikers an opportunity to touch different parts of the Midwest and hit into Iowa and South Dakota and some of the neighboring states. And so I'm sure that's going to make it a really, really interesting ride. So by the time they get to Wayne, they've already covered quite a bit of territory. So
they have, and when they leave Wayne for Wakefield, then they go to Winnebago and they end up in Tacoma. And when we visited with the ride organizers early on, that was one of their goals, is to give the riders a unique experience. They've done the west to east route a number of different ways, and things are a little sparse out in western Nebraska, and they've done as much as they could, but they felt that they really weren't giving the exposure to northeast Nebraska and all the things that were in this part of the state. And so that's why they ventured and did a little different route. We're really glad that they did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the community has got a lot of stuff going on. I know that there's some stuff that the chamber is going to be sending up to North Bend to kind of give kind of prepare people for what they're going to experience when they get to Wayne. So what's some of the stuff that you guys will be taking up there?
Well, we put together a flyer with a map, so when the riders the night before they get to Wayne and they're kind of looking ahead to what the next day will bring, they'll have ideas of what we have available for them. We've got some industry tours planned at Heritage Homes. The riders will be able to swim at the swimming pool. Again, like I said, farmers market, but they've added some massages, yoga on the green, and some live music for the riders. Sometime on Wednesday, I think it will probably be around 7-ish. We haven't confirmed the time, but Darren Barner's going to bring some rugby players in so we can have a rugby tutorial and exhibition match. match. We're asking people to meet at the rugby clubhouse. There'll be Aqua Zumba at the pool. There'll be Zumba at the Providence Wellness Center. Planetarium shows at 6:30 and 7:30. We've got the Sharpshooters 4-H Club, which will be sampling the chicken show for the riders with the egg slingshot on Wednesday afternoon and evening. And then Elkhorn Valley Bank is sponsoring a free showing of Blazing Saddles at the movie theater. So lots of fun things planned for the riders.
And I just heard the theater presentation the other day, and I was that's something I may go see because I love that movie, and I've got the movie on DVD. I've watched it a million times. It's a hilarious movie, so I'm sure it'll be a fun movie to watch in theaters, and a great classic movie for the BRAN riders to come to. That'll be a lot of fun.
We've been asking Melanie what the movie would be because we knew she'd pick out something very appropriate, and of course she did. Blazing Saddles. It will be appropriate. Yeah. So lots of fun things going on, and then we're also trying to cover the riders' needs. So like I said, we've got the trolleys, and we have the school vans that will ride them around. We have the Leadership 2.0 class will act as step-on guides on the trolleys and help kind of do a little bit of tour guides and make sure people get where they want to go and get back to the campgrounds. U.S. Cellular is providing a phone charging and a Wi-Fi station, so we can meet the riders' needs. The BRAN people bring in their own shower trailer that is paid for through the BRAN fees, but we're also offering additional opportunity for showers at the Wayne Elementary School and at the Activity Center. And then, of course, when we talk about weather, we've had to plan for any kind of emergency. And we did meet last Tuesday with Nick Chemnitz with the Wayne County Emergency Management and the representatives from the fire department, the sheriff's office, and the Wayne Police, and we looked, at different scenarios and what we'll do, and we will have a station set up. The emergency management trailer will be set up on site. The BRAN people also bring their own system for emergency management. So we're trying to be like that Boy Scout that's always prepared, and hopefully we don't need to use any of that, but we will, and we'll be watching the weather. We have some emergency shelters designated, so if we need to move riders, we can.
And it's really neat to see this BRAN thing in operation. Like I said, I had a chance to see the Laurel stop a few years ago, and they bring in a semi trailer that has everybody's equipment on it, and somehow everybody knows whose stuff is whose, so they're able to get on there and get the equipment where it needs to go, and get everybody set up, and then it's up to the communities to really provide a lot of those extra things that help make it a really good time. And I know a lot of people that I talked to at the Laurel stop a couple years ago, they were really happy with the hospitality that community showed, and I know that's something that this community is all about, and I'm really confident that this is going to be a really fun stop for the bikers when they come to town here on Wednesday.
If I remember right, Laurel won Favorite Community Award, and Wayne is vying for that award as well, because if the riders select Wayne as their favorite place to stay, we will receive a $500 scholarship that we will provide to the Wayne schools to give out to a student. Just as a host community, we automatically receive one $500 scholarship, but if we're chosen as their favorite community, we'll get a second one. So we're excited about that. With all the events and activities that are planned, we invite the whole community to come out and participate. None of the things are exclusive to the BRAN riders. Part of their experience here will be mixing and mingling with the locals, and they want to hear from you as much as we want to hear their stories. I'm sure, as you can imagine, this is an interesting group of riders, and we'll have some great stories. So we invite the whole community to come out and participate in any of the meals or any of the games, activities, any of the events, mix and mingle with the riders. When they leave here on Thursday morning, we're not going to let them leave town hungry, because we provided some breakfast options for them too. The St. Mary's Youth Group will have breakfast burritos and pastries and milk and coffee. And the MOPS group will have a yogurt parfait bar with baked goods. Journey Christian Church is also providing breakfast option for the riders, as is Fourth Jug with a breakfast buffet. And the meals at the Fourth Jug will be assisted by wait staff provided by the Wayne Athletic Boosters. So that might be fun to come out and see as well. So lots of things going on all day Wednesday and Thursday for the riders, and everyone's invited to come out. If nothing else, cheer the riders along the route.
You bet. We're talking with Irene Fletcher here from the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce, talking about the Bike Ride Across Nebraska that'll be stopping here in Wayne on Wednesday, talking here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast. And summertime is here, and if you weren't outside this past weekend, you probably are aware of that already. But if your kid is participating in softball or baseball this summer, Mikey C Productions will have plenty of photos to choose from to help you fill up those scrapbooks. And speaking of scrapbooks, we are adding scrapbooking to what we offer at Mikey C Productions. So if you don't have time to update your kids' scrapbooks or need someone to take care of the work for you, give Mike a call. That's Mikey C Productions, Wayne's home for local sports photos and more. Check out our photo website at mikeycproductions.smugmug.com to get your favorite photos delivered today. And if you're thinking about Dirt Devil softball photos from over the weekend, Fridays and Saturdays were put up there over the weekend, and Sunday's photos going to be going up on Monday, and so they will all be up there for you to check out. A lot of photos taken and a lot of fun covering that softball tournament this weekend. We're closing things down here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast with Irene Fletcher of the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce, and just again thinking back to my experience over there in Laurel. When you talk about the people that take part in this bike ride across Nebraska, there are a wide variety of interesting people. I remember there's one guy that has participated in every bike ride across Nebraska, and his daughter, I think, has been in on the last 25, or I think it was 25 at the time, when they were together. And he had a lot of really interesting stories about some of the past trips he's taken, and a lot of these people are people who have never been to some of the communities that they go, and that's why they go on these bike ride trips, because it's an opportunity to see a part of Nebraska that they've either have never seen before, or maybe drove through once on the way to somewhere else. So this is going to be a really wonderful opportunity for people to really kind of see Wayne's best face and see what the community of Wayne is all about. And as somebody who moved here 8 years ago, I've sung Wayne's praises as anytime that I get a chance to when I talk to people from out of town. So I'm really excited for the people to be coming in to get for them to see what this community is all about.
And we're really excited as well. And there are a number of local people who have also done the BRAN ride for a number of years, and there's some that have just done it a few times, but they appreciate the opportunity to show off their hometown amongst their peers as well. So we've involved them in a planning committee and kind of picked their brain a little bit as to what the riders' needs are and what we might be able to do to meet those needs. And so again, I really appreciate all the volunteers that have come together and helped us put this together, and keep your fingers crossed for the good weather, and be sure and say hello to the riders when they're in town.
You bet. And of course, when this is all done, then you can kind of kick back, relax, not have to worry about anything for about 15 minutes a day. You're going to take a day.
I'm going to take a day. I'm going to take a day.
And then get into it with the chicken show. But I think a lot of that stuff, you're in pretty good shape with all that already. So
there's a huge difference between the two events, because this will be the 37th year of the chicken show, and it's kind of like calling placebacks. Everyone knows their role and knows what they do every year. With the BRAN, we wanted to create it to definitely reflect the community. So we stewed on where we should put the campers up, what our theme should be, what to focus on, and really it's really come together because of the volunteers, and we've made it our own unique event, and we hope the riders see that when they get here.
I'm sure they're going to. It's going to be a great experience when they come to town. The Bike Ride Across Nebraska coming to Wayne on Wednesday. The bike riders will be coming in probably late morning and on throughout the afternoon. So if you're riding up and down Highway 15 to the south there and heading back toward Wayne, or leaving Wayne, just kind of keep an eye out for the bikers as they make their way toward town, and then when they get to town here, hopefully we can show them a good time here in Wayne, and make it a good experience for everybody involved. And there's a lot of activities going on that will be going on during Bike Ride Across Nebraska Day here in Wayne on Wednesday. And of course, as Irene said, not exclusive to the BRAN riders. So feel free to take part in some of the activities and mingle with the bikers and show them a good time and show them what Wayne America is all about. So, Irene, thanks a lot for talking with us on Voice of Wayne America this week, and looking forward to the next couple days here.
Thank you too, Mike.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Voice of Wayne America. And I want to thank Irene Fletcher from the Wayne Area Chamber of Commerce for talking about the Bike Ride Across Nebraska event coming up here on Wednesday. Check back to WayneAmerica.com as we continue to tell the stories of the people who make this the best town in all of America. That's right here in Wayne America. Have a good week, and we'll see you later.